Everyone knows that eating vegetables is good for your health, right? But what if I told you that some of them, the very ones many people call super healthy, might actually be working against your body after age 60? The surprising part is that we're not talking about rare or exotic foods. These are everyday vegetables you probably have in your fridge right now. And depending on how they're consumed, they can increase your risk of kidney stones, inflammation, joint pain, blood pressure imbalances, and even block the absorption of essential vitamins. Today, I'm going to reveal 10 vegetables that might be sabotaging your health without you even knowing it, and most importantly, how to keep enjoying each one safely. And stay with me until the very end because I'm going to share one common mistake people make when preparing these foods that can turn something healthy into a real problem. While you're here, make sure to subscribe to Longevity and turn on the notification bell because every week I bring you tips to help you live longer with more energy and independence after 60. Spinach is considered by many to be a superfood. Rich in iron, magnesium, vitamin K, and antioxidants, it shows up in salads, green smoothies, and even as a side dish for hot meals. But for those over 60, it can hide an important detail. The issue lies in oxalic acid, a substance found in high amounts in spinach. In excess, oxalic acid binds to calcium and forms crystals known as calcium oxalate, which can build up in the kidneys and cause painful kidney stones. The risk is even greater for those with a history of kidney stones, osteoporosis, or difficulty absorbing calcium. That's exactly what happened to Helena, age 68. After adding raw spinach to her green juice every day, she began experiencing intense lower back pain. When she got tested, she discovered she had developed kidney stones, and her doctor identified excessive raw spinach consumption as one of the main factors. But that doesn't mean you have to cut spinach from your diet. Here are 3 ways to consume it more safely. Cook it first. Cooking reduces some of the oxalic acid. Rotate your greens, alternate with lettuce, arugula, kale, and other leafy vegetables. Drink plenty of water. This helps flush out excess oxalate through the kidneys. Spinach can be a great ally for your health, but like everything in your diet, the secret lies in balance and proper preparation. And in the next vegetable, we'll talk about a food many people think is light and perfect for diets, but it may actually be causing silent inflammation in your body. Eggplant is famous for helping control cholesterol and even blood sugar. Many people even drink eggplant water as a home remedy. But there's a side to this story that almost no one talks about. Eggplant belongs to the nightshade family, the same as tomatoes and potatoes, and it contains a substance called solanine. In small amounts, it's not a problem, but when eaten in excess or by people who are more sensitive, solanine can trigger joint inflammation, worsening arthritis and osteoarthritis pain. That's exactly what happened to Mrs. Lourdes, age 70. She started eating roasted eggplant every single day to lower her cholesterol. After a few months, her knee pain got much worse. When she cut back and added more variety to her diet, the pain improved. Another important point, raw eggplant is bitter precisely because of its higher concentration of solanine. And for those with a sensitive stomach, it can cause nausea, stomach pain, and even diarrhea. So, if you enjoy eggplant, here's how to get the best out of it without the risks. Always cook or roast before eating. Don't overdo it the frequency, alternate with other vegetables. If you have arthritis or joint pain, notice if it worsens your symptoms.
In the next vegetable, we'll talk about a salad favorite. Light, crunchy, and refreshing. But one that can cause serious problems for people with high blood pressure. Celery is often seen as one of the most harmless and healthy vegetables out there. Low in calories, full of fiber, crunchy, refreshing. Perfect for salads and green juices. But what most people don't know is that celery contains high levels of natural sodium. This means that for people with high blood pressure or fluid retention, eating too much can actually make things worse. And there's more. Celery contains furanocoumarins. compounds that, in sensitive individuals, can cause allergic reactions and even increase the skin's sensitivity to sunlight, leading to irritation and dark spots. A curious case is Mr. Alvaro, age 66, who began drinking green juice with lots of celery every day. Within a few weeks, he noticed his blood pressure rising and his skin turning red more easily after being in the sun. When he cut back on the amount and alternated the ingredients, everything went back to normal. If you enjoy celery, here's how to eat it safely. Use small amounts if you have high blood pressure. Alternate with other vegetables in your juice or salad. Avoid eating too much before spending a lot of time in the sun, especially if you have sensitive skin. In the next vegetable, we'll talk about a food many associate with bone health, but that can actually have the opposite effect if eaten the wrong way. Beetroot is almost always seen as a superfood. It improves circulation, boosts energy, strengthens the immune system, and is rich in minerals important for bone health, such as calcium, magnesium, and potassium. But there's a detail most people never mention. Beets are also high in oxalates. Yes, the same compound we saw in spinach and tomatoes. In excess, oxalates can bind to calcium and form crystals, increasing the risk of kidney stones and reducing the absorption of calcium that should be strengthening your bones. And it doesn't stop there. For those who already have low blood pressure, eating too much beetroot can lower it even further, causing dizziness and weakness. Here are two real-life cases. Mrs. Marley, age 69, started drinking beet juice every day to strengthen her heart. After a few weeks, she began feeling dizzy and almost fainted when getting out of bed. Her doctor found her blood pressure was dropping too much due to the excess juice. Mr. Antonio, age 74, began eating cooked beets for lunch and dinner, thinking it would help prevent osteoporosis. Tests later revealed kidney stones, and his nephrologist identified excess oxalates as one of the main factors. If you enjoy beetroot, here's how to get the benefits safely. Limit to 3 to 4 times a week, alternating with other vegetables in your juice or salad. If you have low blood pressure, avoid large amounts of pure beet juice. Cook before blending. This helps reduce some of the oxalates. In the next vegetable, we'll talk about a food found in almost every kitchen, eaten raw or cooked, but that can be risky for people with certain blood conditions. Kale is considered one of the most nutritious leafy greens out there. Rich in iron, calcium, fiber, and vitamins A, C, and K, it seems like the perfect food, especially for those wanting to strengthen their blood and prevent anemia. But here's a detail few people know. When eaten raw and in excess, kale can pose risks for people with blood clotting problems or hypothyroidism. That's because it's packed with vitamin K, which directly affects blood clotting. For people taking anticoagulants, overdoing kale can interfere with the medication's effect and increase the risk of clots. And it doesn't stop there. For those who already have low blood pressure, eating too much kale can lower it even further, causing dizziness and weakness. Here are two real-life examples. Mrs. Estella, age 71, drank green juice with raw kale every morning. After some tests, she discovered her thyroid function was worsening. Her endocrinologist explained that excessive raw kale was one of the factors. Mr. Mauro, age 68, takes anticoagulants due to heart surgery. After increasing his daily kale intake, his blood tests showed changes in clotting, requiring adjustments to his medication dosage. If you love kale, follow these tips. Lightly cook it to reduce the effect of goitrogens. Eat in moderation if you take anticoagulants, and always tell your doctor. Rotate your leafy greens to avoid overconsumption. In the next vegetable, we'll talk about a food found in almost every kitchen, eaten raw or cooked, but that can be risky for people with certain blood conditions.
Cabbage is that simple, inexpensive, and versatile vegetable. It works well raw in salads, sautéed, or even fermented, like in sauerkraut. And yes, it has plenty of benefits. It's rich in fiber, vitamin C, and antioxidants. But for some people, it can become a problem. Cabbage contains sulfur and fermentable fibers that in excess can cause gas, bloating, and abdominal discomfort, especially for those with irritable bowel syndrome. It also contains goitrogens, just like kale, meaning that eating it raw in excess can affect thyroid function. And there's more. People with liver disease should be cautious. Excess sulfur in the metabolism can overload the liver, making it harder to eliminate toxins. Here are two examples. Mr. Gilberto, age 73, started eating raw cabbage salad every day to improve digestion. Within a short time, he experienced constant bloating and abdominal discomfort. When he reduced his intake to twice a week, the symptoms disappeared. Mrs. Irasema, age 70, with a history of liver problems, began drinking raw cabbage juice to detox. After medical tests, her doctor advised stopping daily use because the sulfur overload was affecting her liver function. If you enjoy cabbage, follow these tips. Alternate between raw, cooked, and fermented to vary its effects on the body. Avoid daily overconsumption, especially if you have digestive or liver issues. Chew well to help digestion and reduce gas. In the next vegetable, we'll talk about a food that seems harmless, but can increase inflammation and worsen chronic pain if eaten in excess. White potatoes are one of the most consumed foods in the world. They're found in mashed potatoes, baked dishes, fries, soups, and even breakfast in some countries. They're tasty, affordable, and provide quick energy thanks to their high carbohydrate content. But here's the part most people overlook. Just like eggplant, potatoes belong to the nightshade family and contain solanine. In sensitive individuals, this compound can increase inflammation in the body, making arthritis, osteoarthritis, and other chronic pain conditions worse. And it doesn't stop there. Potatoes have a high glycemic index, which causes spikes in blood sugar, increasing the risk of insulin resistance and weight gain. This is especially concerning for people with diabetes or prediabetes. Here are two examples. Mrs. Clarice, age 72, loved having French fries and mashed potatoes for dinner. Over time, she noticed her knee and hand pain worsened on days when she ate more potatoes. When she replaced part of her potato intake with steamed vegetables, her pain improved. Mr. Helio, age 69, who has diabetes, thought eating boiled potatoes every day would be fine. After a few months, his blood tests showed more frequent glucose spikes, and his nutritionist explained that excess potatoes were one of the culprits. If you enjoy potatoes, here's how to reduce the risks. Choose sweet potatoes or purple sweet potatoes instead of white potatoes. If you eat them, go for boiled or baked, never fried. Pair them with protein and fiber to help reduce blood sugar spikes. In the next and final vegetable, we'll talk about a food many people consider healthy and light, but that can cause serious heart problems if eaten in excess. Lettuce is probably the most common salad vegetable in the world. Light, refreshing, low in calories, and easy to prepare. For many people, it's the very definition of healthy eating. But here's something few people know. Some varieties, especially romaine lettuce and red leaf lettuce, are high in vitamin K, the same nutrient we talked about with kale, which can affect blood clotting. For people taking anticoagulants, eating too much can reduce the medication's effectiveness, increasing the risk of blood clots and heart problems. And additionally, although it's rare, lettuce can accumulate pesticide residues and heavy metals if grown in contaminated soil. Over time, this can impact heart health and liver function. Here are two examples. Mr. Raimundo, age 75, was taking anticoagulants and began eating large bowls of salad with romaine lettuce every day. After tests, his doctor noticed the medication was less effective and excess vitamin K was identified as one of the factors. Mrs. Sylvia, age 68, ate lettuce daily from a garden near an industrial area. Over time, tests revealed elevated heavy metal levels in her body, and she had to change the source of her produce. If you enjoy lettuce, here's how to eat it safely. Keep variety in your grains. Alternate between lettuce, arugula, watercress, and others. Wash thoroughly, soaking in baking soda or vinegar solution. If you take anticoagulants, talk to your doctor to adjust your diet. Now that you know the 9 vegetables that can pose risks after age 60, remember, the key is balance and variety. And here's a special gift. Right below this video, you'll find an ebook for a symbolic price with even more details about each of these 9 vegetables and many other tips to adapt your diet for more energy, health, and longevity. So which of these vegetables surprised you the most? The truth is, no food is completely good or bad. It all depends on the amount, the way it's prepared, and most importantly, your personal health condition. What really matters is knowing your body and making smart choices. That's why I want to invite you to keep going on this journey of care and prevention. Right below, in the description, you'll find an ebook for a symbolic price with even more detailed information about each of these 9 vegetables and many other tips to boost your health after 60. It's a special resource that can help you have more energy, vitality, and longevity. And if this video was helpful to you, leave a like, subscribe to the Longevity channel, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the next videos. See you next time.